Sydenham Street United Church is celebrating 25 years of becoming an affirming ministry, welcoming people of all sexual orientations and gender identities. Reverend Catherine Elsden, minister of Sydenham Street United Church, joins me to tell us about the church's 25th anniversary celebration on Sunday, November 17th. Catherine, thank you very much for being here today. We're celebrating 25 years of being an affirming ministry. Could you speak to what that means and what people might expect at that kind of ceremony?
An affirming ministry is a specific designation given by an organization called Affirming United, and they oversee a process of discernment and education, awareness raising in congregations that ultimately leads to a vote that has to pass by overwhelming majority, so that a congregation comes to fully understand, or as fully as they can, what it means to be public, intentional, and explicit about affirming people of all gender identities and sexual orientations. So that was a process that began with a vote 25 years ago. It started even before then as they went through the discernment, and we're taking a moment this fall to celebrate that commitment and also to renew that commitment going forward.
Now, 25 years ago, this was probably, we're still dealing with this discussion right now, and I think that there's many people who may comment that a faith organization or space might not be an appropriate place for affirming, ceremonies or actions. Why does your church believe that it's important?
Yeah, and it goes beyond gender, right, to sexual orientation and gender identity. We believe that this is grounded in the teachings of Jesus, that this is about loving our neighbor, and we are choosing to seek greater understanding, greater solidarity. We believe it's a justice issue, and this is a way that we live out our faith and resist hatred, discrimination in all of its forms.
And in the Sydenham Street United Church, there's an organization that still exists that maybe helps make sure that the church is staying true to its values, but also maybe helping others around, Ontario or Canada with becoming affirming. Is that something you could speak to?
Yeah, there's an affirming action group within the congregation because the education and the advocacy and the awareness raising is ongoing, and we're always learners and seeking to deeper understanding with each other. So there is an action group, and they will help plan the celebration. They're in transition in leadership, but they have, as volunteers, supported other congregations across the country in this process as well.
It's amazing because, again, 25 years ago is a lot different than now. I think conversations is more advanced, and I think that there's a lot more acceptance for that kind of thing, or recognition or whatever. I imagine 25 years ago, it was maybe more contentious. Was there any kind of fallout from becoming or transitioning, or was it just kind of broadly accepted as something the church should do?
No, I think there was a lot of deep conversation, and that's ongoing as we continue to learn and see that trans rights are under attack, and appreciate that this is something that is as important today as it was 25 years ago. So those are important conversations to have, and it's important that we have them from a place of love and a desire to really understand each other.
It's interesting, the Sydenham Street United Church, and maybe a lot of United churches, really seem to be embracing maybe modernization or altering their actions or their beliefs or something like that to embrace kind of the future. Would you say that's true of the Sydenham Street United Church? And if so, what are the different things that the church is doing to, modernize or progress or meet the challenges of the future?
Yeah, I think the church in every age has tried to be relevant to the present and to be accessible for people while still holding fast to those core values that are ancient and the sources of wisdom, the rituals that we believe are still valuable today as they were thousands of years ago. So in many ways, because of declining organized religious participation, churches are having to seek different platforms, online, different revenue streams, and adapt. But I think really what we're trying to live out is the same teachings and principles of Jesus that have to do with love loving
acceptance.
God, loving God and loving your neighbor. Yeah.
That's beautiful. And, I imagine there's a number of people watching who may be interested in their own kind of faith journey. Maybe it's, maybe they didn't feel like a church would be accepting to who they are. And I know Sydenham Street United Church is very accepting to a broad range of people, where maybe others are still battling with that kind of thing. To somebody who's maybe interested in pursuing their faith journey, what kind of suggestions would you give to them, and what could be steps for moving their faith from sort of maybe interior to exterior, and maybe joining a faith community?
Yeah, I think it's great to have a really broad understanding of what spirituality is, and that it is expressed by different people in different ways. And it can be related to art, it can be related to spiritual practices, to the environment and creation. So really finding community around those shared values and spiritual practices is I think, going to enrich the experience. And you need to get out there and visit different places, meet people, try to find a community that reflects somewhat who you are and maybe where you want to go, and then invest in those relationships, because I think the spiritual journey is a long-term one. It's about investing in the relationship with the divine, with yourself, and then with other people who are going to stretch you to live out your values.
Thank you so much for coming in today, Catherine. I think it's fascinating. I love what the Sydenham Street United Church has been doing, from the the rainbow steps to the flag that's been modernized. And I believe there was a lot of learning and understanding when the flag was changed from the stripes to the ones with the triangles and the circles that maybe encompassed more meaning. So I really appreciate it personally. If somebody's interested in celebrating the 25th anniversary of being an Affirming Ministry, when could they come to the church?
So on November 17th, we're going to have a special service of worship and have a guest speaker, Julian Monroe. Julian is a theological student, a leader at Affirm United, and also a drag clown that goes by the name King Jules. So I think it's going to be really uplifting, fun, and also educational and interesting talk about drag and spirituality. And so we hope people from the community will come out and support to celebrate 25 years, but also to recommit ourselves, because this is an ongoing commitment to public, intentional, and explicit welcome of all people.
Wonderful, Catherine. Thank you very much for being here, and see you soon.